Hey, it's Bill Gross, the LA probate expert. I'm really excited to have somebody who really has been in this space of video interviewing, video content for real estate agents, I think since it started as a thing a while ago. And I also knew him before that was a thing, Frank Klesitz, who's hiding behind their off camera there. We kind of caught him here.
Yeah, I'm shutting my door.
Okay. I love this about Frank. Let's be real and let's be transparent.
Yeah.
Let's start. Close the door in the intro. Frank Klesitz. Frank, how you doing? Nice to see you.
Doing well. Thanks for having me, Bill.
Geographically,
I've known you for a long time. I think we met when I first started the company.
I think maybe even slightly before. I think when you were getting ready to launch. I think I met you at Mike Frey event. I think 10,
long time ago.
So, and just geographically, where are you located?
I live in Nashville now. So
That's
I grew up in Omaha, Nebraska. Moved to San Diego for 10 years and bought a house in Nashville because San Diego prices were not something I was comfortable with.
Got it.
So now.
Their loss, our loss is their gain. So, but I have a lot of friends who are moving to Nashville and moving east in general. So I'm sure there's a crowd out there moving that way.
Huge.
And then tell me, how did you get into the, I knew you were in real estate coaching space when you started this. It was more about database and email marketing. How did you get into that and how this, and where's the company now today?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I was studying to get my real estate license. And one thing I knew I didn't want to do is just cold calling was not for me. So the idea of cold calling someone that had no idea who I was, interrupting them on the phone and trying to wrangle an appointment or business out of them, I was like, that's a 100% no-no. And there has to be another way to do that at scale and doing it right. And I stumbled into it when I was taught the concept of a 33 touch to database. Loved it. Go out, meet people, invite them to a workshop, maybe invite them to watch your videos, something a little more upstream. That's not so like, hey, you want to sell your house and take an appointment with me right away? And I thought it was a little more strategic, honestly. And I liked the idea of going out and building a subscriber list and going out and getting people to my workshops and seminars and then just, being in front of those people a long time, because they're upstream with some type of like ongoing long-term nurture program where I'm publishing content. I'm publishing videos, answering commonly asked questions, positioning myself as an expert. So when it came time to them to buy or sell, they remember me, or I'd reach out to them and they just treat me with respect versus like some commodity of someone hounding them. And I enjoyed that approach much more. And I was like, you know what? I think if I'm going to start my own real estate business, I should probably come up with a system to publish videos. So I kind of wrote this long checklist, right? Like come up with a topic, write the script, get in front of your webcam, get the lighting right, record the video, edit the video, put it on YouTube, put it on the blog, write an article to go with it, post it on Facebook, post it here. Now you create some additional clips for the reels and the shorts or the whatever, email it out. It takes a lot of work. So I put together this whole checklist. And I was like, I think I'm going to hire someone to do all this work for me. So all I got to do is shoot the videos to run my touch system. And then kind of through the process of doing that, I realized, man, this is the same problem that like every single real estate agent has, is like, how do they produce some consistent content that's relevant and consistently get out to their list? I was like, you know what? I think there's a business doing this. So I kind of decided to start this company called Viral Marketing. And, maybe 13 years later, 60 employees later and, hundreds of clients around the country, we interview them on a webcam or on their phone using this cool product called Riverside.fm that records really high quality video at scale from remotely, and do the exact same checklist that I put together pretty much a decade ago, tweaked a bit, but the principles are the same. Record a Q&A video that's relevant, put it together, edit it, get it out, get people to see it, and then proactively follow up with the people that are watching it. So you're more of a guest and less of a pest. And that's viral.
And if it's at scale, then they start reaching out to you in enough quantity to keep you busy.
Hopefully. Yeah, that would be the goal. It's usually less the case. Usually it's more you're tracking the people that are watching this stuff and you're proactively following up with those individuals to start the conversation. So it's kind of like this, it's like this happy medium between like cold calling and like people calling you. It's you calling people who know who you are and are recently engaged. It's like that middle ground between like a total cold call or a total come list me call.
And I think you're 100% right. Every agent struggles with these areas. I know for me, when you started this, you had a real a focus or a lot of tension was on the email piece of it, where the video was more of a addition to it. It seemed like, at least that's where it's at to me at the time. Video wasn't as ubiquitous as it is now. And email something and virtual assistants, and I really focused in on myself and my own business. So when this launched, I really got into the email side and the virtual assistant side, and kind of missed the video piece of it. And that's what I think you really bring to it. So there's the logistics as one part of your business. Another part, though, I also know is getting agents over the fear, discomfort, whatever it is, of actually just shooting the video. Like you could handle everything ready, and I know you could fly to the customer's office and do all that and have it ready to go and push a button, and they're still gonna have a problem. So talk a little bit about how you coach agents through that process. They've paid you money, you think it'd be automatic, but it still isn't automatic, is it?
No, not at all. I think the first thing there's two things is like, how do I shoot a video and look at myself with the least amount of pain possible? And then how do I know what to say?
Don't look at the video.
Yeah.
That's the answer.
So let's just start with knowing what to say. So we sit down and we come up with what are the top questions you're being asked by your customers all the time. So, some of the ones right now are, how does inflation affect home prices? How could I buy a home before I sell one with like the cash offer? Is the market going to crash? What happens if interest rates go up while I'm under contract? These are all questions that you're getting. And what you do is you then basically just Google the question and then come up with like three key things you want to say to answer it. And you write that into a script. And when we follow that process, everyone's like, oh, wow, that was easy. Okay, here's these questions. Let's Google the question. Let's come up with three key points to make for the answer. And you put together a little talking point script. Okay, cool. Now I know what to say and I know it's relevant. Done. Right. So now it's a matter of shooting the video. We like to shoot it either over a webcam or just using your phone. The phone actually performs better. But the challenge is, how do you get someone comfortable shooting on their phone or their webcam? You just shoot it by yourself? Absolutely not. You need to have someone like coaching you through it. You need a director. You need someone to kind of make sure you look good and you sound good and you're lit right. And someone basically kind of interview you and talk you through the video, and then you can edit them out. And the product that we use that we're really happy with is called Riverside.fm. And if you go check out Riverside.fm, it's basically Zoom, but it's a high quality Zoom. I can do a studio quality Zoom interview with anyone in the world, assuming they have a decent webcam and light and their phone set up. And you can actually use Riverside through an app on a phone. And I do the interview that way, and it's lossless because it records right to the hard drive. It records right to the device. And it sends it to us, and we put it through editing, and it looks great. So I would probably say to get someone comfortable on video is like setting an appointment, knowing what to say, picking a relevant topic, coming up with 3 talking points, scheduling the time again, getting on your phone or on a webcam. So it's not like this whole big video production setup. It's uncomfortable. And just having basically kind of a glorified Zoom conversation to get the content. And then it goes to an editor to edit up real nice. Done. And that's why it makes it so easy to create the content that way.
Now that's the content. Of course, the other challenge is who's going to open it, who's going to see it.
Yeah.
And I know when I left coaching, I'm working for company management, and I went to coaching, and my focus was on creating a database, which is, I think, a challenge every realtor has, but the handful who are succeeding. And I worked on a checklist. I had virtual assistants. I worked on a process. And I worked on it. And one day I saw your video on your process. I said, well, that's everything I'm doing. And I don't want to do it for that price. So I just rather refer people to you and let that happen that way. But you guys really master that process. What's that like? I haven't seen your video since from you, but I imagine that's still part of your process. What do you do to help an agent gather their database so that when they have the content, they can point it at the people they know already and try to get leverage there?
Well, it's one thing to create a video, but then no one's going to see it, right? Unless you let people know that it exists.
Right.
So once the video is done, you have to promote it. And the best people to promote it to are the people kind of like you already have their contact information, make sure they're relatively warm. So we'll start with, we recommend, there's this app on the App Store called Covey, Covvee. It's like export your contacts by Covey. And we basically export everyone's contacts out of their cell phone. So we get all the email addresses and contact information that you happen to have in your address book on your cell phone. That's one source. The second source is we'll go into your Outlook, where we go into your Gmail, and we'll grab all the contacts you have in that address book, and we'll export that into a second spreadsheet. Then we'll go into your CRM, past clients, leads, CRM or CRMs, right? We'll grab all your leads and all your nurtures and all your past clients, and we'll export that and we'll grab that, right? Those are your top three. There's other sources too, like any nurtures you have in your dialer, or maybe an old email newsletter you're using on MailChimp. And we'll grab all those spreadsheets. And then we use a service called Neverbounce. So we go to neverbounce.com and we upload all those spreadsheets to Neverbounce to remove all the bad emails. So there's obviously lots of bad emails aren't going to work or aren't formatted right or whatever. So we remove all those. So now we have squeaky clean, 99% deliverable lists that have been exported. And then we load them into an email marketing program. At Viral, we use a service called MyEmma, MYEMMA. We upload them all in there, which then deduplicates them. So now you have a fully scrubbed, deduplicated list of everyone you've ever known. And then we also upload all those contacts to your Facebook ad account so we can advertise to them. So if those emails match up to any Facebook ad accounts, we can now run ads to them. So now you basically have everyone you've known in your entire life ready to receive an email message and ready to see a Facebook post, because you can boost that post to those people. And you're gold, man. I don't know why any professional doesn't do that. So now you have those two lists sitting there, and now it's a matter of sending them a message. And assuming you haven't really sent them anything, it's usually good. It's some type of reconnect message. And I'll kind of give you how the message goes. Subject line is excited to reconnect with you, dear clients, friends, and colleagues. I'm ready you since we've done business together. I've helped you buy or sell a home. Maybe you're in my address book, or we've connected at some point in our lifetime in some way. But I just want to let you know that I'm still selling real estate. The real estate market's still moving here, considering what you read in the news. It's actually still going just fine. But the stuff you hear in the national news is pretty sensational. It may not be exactly what's happening here in the local market. So I'm going to step up my game and just start publishing a couple quick answers to commonly asked questions for people right here in our city when it comes to the real estate market. And I think you'll find them really helpful. In fact, I just published my very first one on how is inflation affecting home prices, and you can watch it here. But I want to let you know that you're going to receive these going forward. And since I know this email's out of the blue, if you don't want to hear from me and you have absolutely zero interest in getting any real estate videos from me, just scroll down to the bottom and unsubscribe. No hard feelings. But I want to let you know that I plan on stepping up and being your little local economist of choice to inform you what's going on in the market. But if you happen to make it this far in the email and you are actually thinking about selling, you can actually click here and put your information, and I'll tell you what your home is worth, everything you're selling. Or you can actually click here and maybe search all homes on my website if you're thinking of buying a home. And if you have any questions for me, give me a call at this number, reply back to this email. But I look forward to staying in better touch. Hope you found this as a nice email. And again, if you don't want to hear from me, just unsubscribe. It's right down below. Sincerely, Bill Gross.
And you want the ones who want to unsubscribe to unsubscribe.
Yeah.
You want them out quickly.
Yeah. Sure. So I'll click report spam, right? Because that's the whole idea behind marketing. Marketing is designed to separate the interested from the uninterested. So there's just no way you can have the interested without the uninterested. And a lot of times our ego or lack of self-esteem, we focus on the unsubscribes. I'm like, hey, how about you focus on people that actually reply back saying they want to sell? Right? So it's a very human behavior thing of focusing on the interested over focusing on the disinterested. So that goes out and we usually spike really good response. It's great.
I know people that use it and have done well with it. Again, full transparency, I did it on my own, and my business is a little more B2B, business to business, than it is to consumer. But I work with agents, my team, and they're constantly struggling with the video. They constantly struggle with the database. I think the third thing I see that I really admire about what you've built is like an ongoing sense of value creation, that you have your YouTube interviews where this letter you gave was in a YouTube interview, you do another one when the market changes. Yeah. That you have a regular seeding of value for your customers. Talk about how you build that. What's your vision that should look like?
Yeah, what the Viral brand is all about is just kind of the most helpful marketing company in the space. Like, I just wanted to be like the most helpful marketing firm that can help you grow your business. And I basically made the decision is that I'll talk about anything. I mean, I happen to know a lot more than just what the core program of Viral is, of why you pay us money for, a really good 36 touch. But, dude, I know direct mail. I know how to build VA teams. I've been to Manila in the Philippines. Like, I built a company myself. Like, I know a lot about business, I guess. So I would just go out and just interview anybody or just do topics on really anything that I think might help grow a business. And that generates a audience of people that want to grow a business. Then they hear about viral marketing, like, oh, viral marketing can help me with this small piece of the larger problem of growing a business, and they check it out. And I think people like it because they get to know the founder, they get to know the person behind it, and they get to know, like, wow, this company is really aligned with me, just helping me grow my business. Even though I understand they only do this niche piece of that, solving that more complex problem. That's been a good piece for my brand. And honestly, dude, I just enjoy it. Like, that's marketing. Like, I look forward to all these interviews because I really want to know. So I think when you listen to an interview, there's that natural curiosity by me, is like, I'm really doing for the interview for myself, and you are all welcome to listen, but I'm not here for you. I'm here for me. Which I find is funny. I have to say, like, I really like watching South Park. And I was always like, how do these guys in South Park like make such good videos or make such good episodes, and how they've been around for 20 years? Like, yeah, we don't really care about the audience. We just do what we think is funny. That's kind of my attitude about interviews.
Yeah, I mean, I think, look, that's why I called and got a chance to interview you, is I really just wanted to chat with you. I enjoy it. I also like sharing what I learn with other people. And this, I think, an effective tool to do that. I enjoy it. Maybe for me, it's more about learning and education than pure the entertainment value, but you're a fun guy to talk to. I've enjoyed, when we spoke in the past, I enjoy speaking to you now.
Yeah.
Where do you see your business as far as live events? Are you doing live events at the company? In the past, you used to have some mastermind groups, but I don't think you really did big events. Where do you see your futures of business as far as live events?
I'm getting back to those, actually. I would do, small events, 20 to 30 people, maybe, all over the country, for like masterminds or meetings. And I enjoyed those. I thought they were more useful. The big events, the ones that I don't like at all for the big events, is just this smorgasbord of speakers with conflicting ideas. I think those are kind of, personally, just kind of more money grabs. I like more of the smaller events that are kind of more focused around a topic, where you get some of the more savvier people in the room. And for my own reasons, they're a lot easier to plan and put together. Like, doing a large event gives me a heart attack with the room block of the contract you have to sign for the hotel.
Yeah.
Whereas, I could do a small event for like a $1,500 room commitment with a no room block commitment. So I think that's from a personal standpoint. But yeah, I have my next event in September in Nashville. You can go to getviral.com/meeting. And I have my own, private client group that I work with, and we offer some guest tickets, and you can buy a guest ticket and you can come hang out in the room with me for a day and a half. And we talk about all things real estate marketing at a very high level. So I'm able to go really in depth with the detail that's necessary, having the conversations, like, actually show me and let's talk about actually doing this with the detail that matters, where it's a lot more purposeful execution wise and less motivational. There's already plenty of motivational seminars. Mine's more, I just need to get some things in place that work type of meetings.
I think you did a video of one of those a few years ago, and it was really deep and detailed, and kind of like how to construct an engine. Okay, here's the nut, here's a bolt B, here's nut C, here's a washer D, here's a screwdriver. You really got into the nuts and bolts of the business, which I find fascinating to learn, and I can see where. So that's for somebody who's involved in community your program. If somebody was interested in just starting out, what would be a good place for them to get a taste of what you do? I mean, I think your website does a great job of that. Where would you have them focus on if they go there?
Yeah, well, on the website, I mean, if you guys want to hire Viral, go to getviral, GETVYRAL.com, and download the video marketing plan on the homepage. Maybe watch some of the workshops, the new customer orientation workshops I put up on the website. Request a free strategy call, watch some of the client interviews, read the product that we do, and it's all there. And then it's impossible to lose money hiring us. I mean, how much money have you lost in marketing over the years, Bill, that didn't work?
I mean, I've done some stupid things. So maybe not the right guy. And my time, I think that's the other part is, but I've gotten savvier where I've seen you guys with a consistent track record, and I've looked at it very carefully and try to think how to make this fit. But I mean, I get solicited all the time by people who I think would waste my time, and I haven't gone down those rabbit holes. So I haven't lost much money in marketing. When I work at expand my database, what's your experience with other agents? Do they spend a lot of time in marketing?
Yeah, I mean, the worst fear is you spend money on marketing and it doesn't make you money. And that's impossible with us. So we give you 90 days to use our service. And if it doesn't make you a lot more money than what you pay us, we give you all your money back.
Wow.
So We have a 100% money back guarantee that our marketing is 100% guaranteed to work, or you don't, literally give you all your money back.
Wow.
And it's kind of cool, man. Like, I get people to call me up like, hey, Frank, it didn't work. And I write them a full check and I get a Google review about the refunds. So
Wow.
I actually get Google reviews like that didn't work for them.
So what's the scenario? Just to approach that fear, because I think I know what the predominant answer is, but I'd love to hear from you. What do you think the predominant case is when somebody does and it doesn't work for them? Where was the breakdown, do you think?
Oh God, a whole bunch of reasons, man. I mean, the database they hand over, nobody likes them.
Ooh.
That's a big one. Like they built it, they're kind of making up for a bad reputation in the marketplace. So yeah, I mean, we've had people sign up and like everyone unsubscribes and reply back, never send anything. So you're taking someone with a poor reputation and marketing them probably isn't a good idea. You got to fix the reputation first. Second one is, it comes time to shoot the videos and they just can't get over how they look. Like, I don't like how I look, so I don't want to do it.
I see it all the time.
I think how I look is a big issue. 3 is they're so caught up in this productive mindset they've never experienced. They've never expressed the creative side of their brain, and I think it's totally turned off. So basically, you're so focused on calls, prospecting, appointments. And the actual work of like sitting back and actually the creative process of even coming up with a topic is so cerebrally demanding and so exhausting that they don't want to do it. Like the using the creative side of the brain has never been exercised. So it's actually time, like you got to create some content with us. It's time for your interview. Like the cerebral work of that is just too much. So I see that from a human side, but then you don't get the results, right? One of the things is like, we'll send these videos out and I'll say, hey, here's all the people that watch them. Here's all the people that engage with them. And you got to call them. And I think the other issue too is like, hey, when you generate the leads and generate these opportunities, you do have to follow up. And I just think, you might be looking at the marketing as kind of like this, I think it's going to cash the check for me. Right? I can't go that far. I mean, all marketing can do is just generate leads.
Right.
But you still have to call. So I think people get excited, like, I'm going to send this marketing out and someone's going to call me up saying, hey, here's a 7% contract I already signed for you. Sign it and you got the listing. It's not that easy. So I think it's kind of that realization that, the best I can do for you is generate leads, and you still have to call them and you still have to go on the appointments. I think it's interesting. Like, you buy marketing, but you're buying more work. Right? Think about it. Yeah. Right. It's like you buy marketing, but now I just purchased more work. Like who wants to do that? Right.
Right. If you're already busy.
Yeah. Or you're not busy, but now I have all these appointments to go on, all these listings to sell. And I really don't want to do it. So I think that's one of the issues. Oh, our team screws up. That happens all the time. Like, we use maybe we put the wrong logo on there from our clients, God help us, or we put someone else's picture on your graphics. Like, that's happened. Dude, I've been doing this for thousands of people for a decade. I mean, we for some reason the headline, we put the wrong market, so we screw up and we will screw up. So we just refund it because we screwed up, and that's going to happen with any business. So that's another reason. I don't know, man. I think just a general passion for the business. Like I think a lot of people really hate selling real estate, and they're doing it because they need the money. And I think if you hate selling real estate and you're doing it purely because you need the money, I don't think you're really going to enjoy the process of doing this.
Wow. That's deep.
Yeah.
That's deep.
Well, yeah. I mean, do you hate selling real estate and the only reason you're doing this is for the money? I think it's probably most people.
I love it.
I mean, think about it, man. I mean, do most people look forward to going to work? God, I can't wait to go to work today. And I'm really excited about this. Said like 95% of the population didn't say. A lot of people end up in real estate, man. It's not like you seek it out. It's like, hey, I got laid off. Hey, this life situation changed. I need more flexibility. I don't really want to do. So I'm going to get my real estate license. So I don't think that self-awareness was there of like, I'm purposely choosing this profession because I want to crush it. Is generally speaking, probably not the case. Would you say, Bill? Like, hey, I never thought about it. You say that I turned down this $100,000 with benefits offer from Microsoft because I want to go start my own business selling real estate to make more. No.
I mean, you say it makes sense. I never thought about. I mean, I've been around a long time, Frank. I've talked to thousands of agents. I've coached. You're right. I love it. I do love it. I work out of my house now, so I literally walk downstairs, get the coffee. My calendar starts at 8, and they're at 7:45, ready to go. Can't wait to hit it. I got great stuff.
We look forward to our jobs. We get to work.
Love
we
it.
don't have to, right?
I get to.
Yeah, you get to work. You don't have to work.
I can't assume everybody else does. You're so right.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I think those are all the things, man, because look, dude, I mean, this is not difficult. Like if you round up your list and you start making videos where you're dressed well and you're presenting well and there's confidence exuding and you're answering questions that people are actually asking in some marginally intelligent way, it doesn't have to be that great, but it's more about how you present yourself. The video is much more about how you present yourself and the confidence that comes through than actually like the hardcore answer you're getting. You know?
Right.
And then you send out these offers for immediate response. Like find out here, like, let me give you some, like, hey, come get a ticket to my seller workshop. I'll teach you all your options. Hey, come to get a ticket to my buyer workshop. I'll teach you how to buy a home and actually get the offer accepted at a good price. Hey, come to my investor workshop and I'll show you how to find and invest in below market family, single family houses. Hey, come click here and find out what your home is worth. And I'll tell you what your home is worth. Hey, click here to get an offer on your home off market from an investor and skip the hassle. Hey, click here to see if you qualify for a buy before you sell offer. So you can, break up with your landlord. Hey, do you want to get pre-approved for pre-listing improvements? I'll lend you the money to fix up your house so it sells. I mean, the offers go on and on. Like I literally can guarantee you, if you put those offers out to your list, and if let's say your list is terrible, let's say you don't even have a list. Let's say like everyone hates you, right? Well, go find new people that don't.
Right.
Right.
There's 7 billion others.
So,
go find.
Yeah. I mean, it is what it is, right? So if I take those same messages and I put them in a letter, or I put them on the radio, or I put them on Facebook, or I put it in your mouth and you say it through a cold call, or you say it with a door script, they work. We all know that.
With some people.
It's just, sometimes it's the messenger, not the message.
It's so interesting because I, in some regards, I do, maybe what you might think are fundamentally mistakes. Like, for example, we have a landing page for my assistant created a landing page for my live stream I do. And she said, we'll get better connection, more people, because it would be just the email instead of, I was asking the email, name, phone number, company, and then a question like, what do you want to get out of this webinar? And she said, well, And I said, and we've been doing it. And I said, I don't like it. Why? Because I don't know who's coming to the webinar. I just want the people who want to come. If they don't want to give me that information, I really don't want them on my live stream.
Oh, I ask for all of it, dude. So what we found is the more information you ask, the higher the conversion. So I'm going to go totally opposite from what your assistant says.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%.
So in our landing pages, if you were to design the perfect landing page, well, I can show you one. Can I share my screen, Bill?
Yeah, let me get the.
Yeah, let me show you a landing page that works incredibly well. All right.
You should be able to right now.
Yeah. So this is just to find out your home value, typical free home value report landing page. Okay. So again, this is just a template. So we'd have, Bill Gross at the very top. What's your area, Bill? Los Angeles?
Yeah. Los Angeles.
Yeah, free Los Angeles home price estimate. Find out what your LA home is really worth. Based on Bill's detailed analysis, you'll receive an accurate value based on the current market trends with 7 questions. Now, what I'm doing here is I'm not asking for their contact information right away. That's a great way to like someone say, nope. So what you do is you ask for their address. Then you ask if they're thinking of selling soon. See how this kind of gets you involved in the form, what the condition of the home is, what type of property it is, when was your home built? Are you working with an agent? Is there anything else you want to say? Then I ask for the contact information. So trying to put them through some questions, get them invested in the form will generally improve some of the conversion rates. And the leads are a lot better.
Well, and I have to say, now again, it depends on who you're marketing to, but in the particular thing we were doing, I said to her, if they don't want to give me the information, I don't want them, because they're coming to a live stream, which means they can ask questions, disrupt, we have to mute them. So, I'm pretty good at all that, but I would just say, I don't want them on. If they're not going to be all right, I really don't want to invite them into my house, so to speak. But I think sometimes the thing that you do with your marketing also, it's a little harder to do the work in the long run. It builds the relationship and builds the value. And I think I've always felt there's 2 types of marketing. There's the easy to sell that doesn't really work. And then there's the harder work in the long run builds a business and builds conversions. And I think you guys have always
Mhm.
taken the harder rope your sleeves. Let's get to it.
Always.
Get on the video. Get this thing going. It just seems to be your approach that I really admired from the very beginning.
Yeah, it's about building a target market and consistently always being in front of them in some useful way, answering the most commonly asked questions and making offers for immediate response. And slowly over time, you get the compound effect of becoming the most useful person and the most valuable person to that market. And I think it's so easy that we get so caught up in the day to day of the, a good book for anyone to read is, if you're trying to make your life easier, you have to realize you have to go from going one-on-one or one-to-one to one-to-many. So you have to figure out, okay, I'm going one-to-one to one-to-one to one. How do I go one-to-many? And one-to-many requires creativity. And the challenge is when you're in this moment of fear and anxiety, where my next commission check is going to come from, and your whole life is dominated by fear, you're going to be in this constant productivity mode and you're going to have no emotional capacity to be creative, to go one-to-many. So my very first advice to anybody listening to this that is trying to get out of the rat race of selling real estate is you have to live below your means. You'll never be able to be creative. You'll never be able to sit down and create a video. You'll never be able to slow down and think if you're in the constant financial pressure is on you. So go live below your means. And then it has a whole bunch of psychological issues with it that you had to talk to a therapist about. But go get your expenses below what your income is if you have to go live on a box, right?
Yeah.
Now, that anxiety, short of like comparing yourself to other crap, but this is why you need to get that therapy in there. But now your financial anxiety should be a lot less, right? Downgrade, sell your home, go live in a box, eat ramen noodles, whatever it is. And if you get rid of the comparing yourself to others, now you're like, okay, I'm good. And now I can actually make sound business decisions, start structurally for like looking a few years out, then looking like hand to mouth tomorrow. And you can set up a business for long-term success. If you're operating on a constant state of fear of anxiety financially, very few people are able to make the jump to making sound long-term business decisions.
Oh, that's deep. That dimension comes across to the client too, right? If you're desperate.
Well, it's true. Yeah. I mean, look, I'll tell you this, man. I've studied McKinsey, Bain Consulting, Boston Consulting Group, Ernst & Young, all these big consulting firms. And McKinsey, that started McKinsey, huge multi-billion-dollar consulting company, he would never hire anyone unless they were financially independent. So you would have to prove to yourself, if you became a consultant at his consulting firm, you didn't need the money. If you needed the money, you wouldn't be able to act as a fiduciary to the client.
Yeah.
So he made sure that all of his people didn't need the money. And that's how he built a great firm. If you need the money, you're in a terrible spot. So you should be able to, you have to run a business and you have to run your life in a way where you don't need the money. And then the money starts being attracted to you. If you need the money, you're always going to chase it.
Oh, that's deep, man. I had no idea that's where this is going to head. But it's so right. We have a whole industry where the vast majority are so focused on it. And, I'm not sure how you coach around that, but they're so focused on getting the check. They don't ever talk to the customer about what the problem is and how to solve the problem.
I'll tell you exactly how to coach around it. Pull up your bank account and let's start canceling stuff.
I'll never forget. I had an agent, I worked for a company who hadn't paid his MLS. As a result, we had to, we got the notice of MLS. You're not allowed to keep them in the company if they're not in the MLS by rules. So as the manager, I called the guy up and said, hey, your MLS, they say you're behind. And he kind of gave me a song and dance and how he had to take a night job. I said, let me ask you a question. I hear in the background like a ball game or something. You have cable TV? Yeah. What's your bill per month? Mm-hmm. It was more than his MLS dues. He literally, because we canceled our cable TV more for personal reasons. We didn't want that in our house. We wanted that kind of lifestyle. But there are people pay $150 a month, and he's not paying his MLS dues, which caused him to lose his tool for doing business as a real estate agent.
Yeah. Oh, and look, that principle never changes, man, of living below your means. I mean, it's why, look, I can easily afford a home, and I don't want this to come off the wrong way, but I could afford a home in San Diego, but I didn't want to buy it because I love living at a deep margin of safety.
Yeah.
So I don't have anyone so I can operate creatively, run a good business, and put my clients' needs before mine. Like just operate from a place of like calm and peace of mind. Right. So I literally uprooted my whole family, moved to Nashville to buy a home, because no matter how much money you make, you always live below your means. And through that, you get peace of mind. And then when you make business decisions with peace of mind, you're now in a position where you can attract the business, not chase it.
Wow. That's deep. That is really something. Frank, I had no idea that's where this was going to go, but it makes sense because your business from the beginning has always been about being comfortable chasing the long-term relationship and the value rather than the short-term sale.
Well, you asked me, why do people not get results in the first 90 days? I don't think it's a tactical issue.
Wow.
It's not a tactical issue. It's a human issue.
Of course. I mean, now you say it makes sense. Of course you're right. I never thought it that way. It wasn't true for me. So it's hard, it's hard sometimes to put yourself in other people's shoes, understand why they're struggling, but it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed this. I know I got a lot of time from you today. I really appreciate we went a little longer than I scheduled, so I feel bad for a staff member who put this together.
I got time.
Known you for a long time. I appreciate what you do. I'm looking for those events. I have a kind of a personal life with a lot of family time where I don't travel much. Love to see you in person at an event, and I will continue to watch you online. Thanks for sharing with the group, and I'll put the resources you gave in the notes. I really appreciate you so much for your time today.
Thanks, Bill.